your eyes snap open. But something is wrong. Terribly, impossibly wrong. The ceiling above you isn't a ceiling at all. It's rough stone, dripping with moisture, stained with soot from fires you don't remember lighting. The air tastes different, thick, primal, alive with sense. Your modern brain can't even categorize. Something died nearby. Something is rotting. And beneath it all, the unmistakable musk of unwashed bodies, animal hides, and earth that's never known soap. You try to sit up, and that's when the real horror begins. Your body doesn't respond the way it should. Your muscles feel dense, coiled, spring-loaded with a strength you've never possessed. Your hands are wrong. Thick fingers, calloused beyond recognition. Nails caked with dirt and what might be dried blood. You touch your face and feel a heavy brow ridge, a flat nose, a jaw that juts forward like you're perpetually ready to bite something. This isn't your body, but somehow, impossibly, it is. You look down and see legs covered in matted hair, feet so tough they look like they've never worn shoes, because they haven't. The skin is scarred, weathered, covered in bruises and scratches that would send a modern person to the emergency room. But here now, they're just Tuesday. Your heart pounds, a rhythm so powerful you can hear it echoing in your skull. Not the gentle thump-thump you're used to, but a war drum, primal and relentless. Your lungs expand, pulling in air that tastes like smoke and fear, and the raw promise of violence. Where are you? You scramble to your feet, and movement is different. You're lower to the ground, more balanced, coiled like a predator. Every muscle in your body is ready for something your conscious mind doesn't understand yet. Fight, flight, survive. The cave around you is dim, lit only by the dying embers of a fire pit at the center. Shadows dance on the walls, figures lying in heaps of furs and grass. They breathe in unison, a collective rhythm of survival sleep. Some snore, some twitch. One figure near the entrance clutches a crude spear even in sleep, knuckles white with unconscious vigilance. These are your people now, your tribe, your only chance. But your brain is still yours. Modern, confused, terrified. You have memories of smartphones, traffic lights, microwave dinners, and Netflix binges. You remember typing, scrolling, driving, complaining about Wi-Fi. But those things don't exist here. They won't exist for 50,000 years. You are stranded, not in space, but in time. And the clock is already ticking. Outside the cave, something howls. Not a dog, not a wolf. Something bigger. Something that sees humans as food. Your modern mind screams. Call 911. Lock the doors. Get to safety. But there is no 911. There are no doors. And safety is a concept that won't be invented for millennia. You have one goal now. Survive until sunset. Just one day. 12 hours. 720 minutes. But in 50,000 BCE, that might as well be an eternity. And the worst part, you don't even know the rules yet. Your brain works differently now. You stand there trembling, trying to process what's happening, and that's when you realize the second nightmare. Your thoughts are slower, not stupider, not exactly, but different, heavier. Your modern brain, with its ability to multitask, remember passwords, analyze spreadsheets, and binge-watch TV while scrolling Instagram, is trapped inside a cognitive engine built for exactly one thing. Don't die today. You try to think about your old life, your job, your family, your apartment, but the memories feel distant, like trying to remember a dream 3 days later. They're there, but they're slippery, fading fast under the weight of immediate sensory overload, because right now, your brain doesn't care about your Netflix queue. It cares about the fact that the fire is dying, that you're hungry in a way you've never felt before, that every shadow might be a predator, and that your body is screaming at you to do something, anything now. Abstract thought, philosophy, planning next week's schedule, gone. Your brain has been stripped down to the basics. Food, shelter, danger, tribe. Everything else is noise. You try to count. 1, 2, 3. But the numbers feel wrong. You can sense quantities. Small versus many. close versus far but precise mathematics. That's not just hard. It's almost impossible. Your brain wasn't wired for algebra. It was wired to know if there are more predators than prey, more enemies than allies, more food than mouth. Language, oh God, language. You open your mouth to speak, to say something, anything, to ground yourself in the familiar comfort of words. And what comes out is a strangled grunt. Not because your vocal cords don't work. They do, but because language as you know it doesn't exist yet. No grammar, no syntax, no words for hope or tomorrow, or boredom or deadline. You have sounds for danger, for food, for come here, for go away. You have tones, pitches, urgency, but conversation, stories, jokes, they're trapped inside your modern mind with no way out. You point at the fire. One of the sleeping figures grunts without opening their eyes. You've communicated, barely. Your thoughts come in flashes now, not sentences. Hungry, cold, danger outside, fire dying, need wood, but outside is danger, but fire is life, but danger. This is what it means to think like a caveman. Every decision is immediate, visceral, life or death. There's no room for doubt, no space for overthinking, because overthinking gets you killed. And yet, somewhere deep inside your modern consciousness is screaming, trying to impose order on chaos, trying to make plans, trying to think your way out of this, but thinking won't save you here. Instinct will, and that terrifies you most of all. Your body is built for survival. Your new body is a machine, and you're just now learning how to drive it. You flex your fingers, and the strength is shocking. You pick up a rock near the fire pit without thinking. A rock that would have taken 2 hands and a grunt in your old life. Now, it's light, easy. You could throw it through a skull if you needed to. Your legs are shorter, thicker, coiled with muscle that doesn't come from a gym membership. This is functional strength, built from a lifetime of walking, running, climbing, fighting, survive. There's no such thing as leg day here. Every day is leg day, and arm day, and don't get eaten day. Your senses are sharper, not superhuman but recalibrated. You hear things your modern ears would have ignored. The scrape of claws on stone outside, the rustle of wind through grass, the subtle change in someone's breathing that means they're waking up. Your nose picks up everything. Smoke, sweat, blood, decay, the faint scent of an animal passing by hours ago. Your eyes adjust to the darkness faster than they should. You can see in the dim firelight, track movement in shadows, distinguish between the flicker of flame and the shift of a living thing, because your life depends on it. But here's the thing, this body hurts, constantly. Your back aches from sleeping on stone and fur. Your feet are calloused and cracked. Your joints pop and grind with every movement. You have scars everywhere, some old, some fresh, some infected. There's a dull throb in your side that might be a bruised rib, or a pulled muscle, or the early stages of something that will kill you in a week. Modern you would have taken ibuprofen, iced it, maybe seen a doctor. Caveman you ignore it, because pain is just part of existence. You're alive, and that means you hurt. That's the deal. You feel your teeth with your tongue. They're worn down, chipped, some missing. There's no dentist, no toothbrush. You eat with these teeth until they break. And when they're gone, you eat softer food or you starve. Your hair is matted, tangled, probably full of lice. Your skin is scarred, sunburned, frostbitten in place. You smell like smoke and sweat, and earth. And there's no shower, no soap, no way to ever truly be clean again. This is peak human performance. 50,000 BCE edition, and it's brutal. But it's also incredible. You're stronger than you've ever been, faster, tougher. Your modern body was soft, comfortable, protected. This body is a weapon, and if you're going to survive the next 12 hours, you're going to need every ounce of that strength. Language doesn't exist yet. You want to ask questions. Where am I? What's happening? How do I survive? But the words don't come. Language as you know it doesn't exist. You can grunt, you can gesture, you can point, push, pull, make faces, but full sentences, complex ideas, abstract concepts, they're locked inside your head with no key. Someone near the fire wakes up, stretches and makes a low rumbling sound. It's not a word, it's a vibe, a morning greeting, an acknowledgement. I see you, you're still alive, good. You try to respond. Your mouth forms the shape of hello, but what comes out is a throaty growl that sounds more like a question than a greeting. The other person nods. Close enough. Communication here is about context, tone, body language. You learn fast, because you have to. A raised hand means stop. A sharp hiss means danger. A low hum means come closer. A guttural bark means get back. You watch the others. They don't talk, they signal. And you start to realize, language isn't the foundation of human connection. It's trust, it's eye contact, it's the willingness to share food, warmth, protection. One of the tribe members, a woman with a scarred face and eyes like flint, gestures at you. She makes a series of sounds, half grunt, half melody, and points out. You don't understand the words, but you understand the meaning. We need to gather. Come. You nod. She nods back. You've just had your first conversation, and you realize, with a sinking feeling, that everything you are, everything you know, all the thoughts and ideas and dreams inside your head are useless here, because you can't explain them, you can't share them, you can't even ask for help. You are alone inside your own mind, and the only way out is to survive. Everything you need to eat can kill you. Hunger hits you like a fist. Not the I skipped lunch kind of hunger. Not the I'm bored so I'm snacking kind of hunger. This is primal, gut-twisting, all-consuming hunger that makes your hands shake and your vision blur. Your body is burning calories, just staying warm, just breathing, just existing, and it wants fuel. Now, you look around the cave, no fridge, no pantry, no takeout menus. There's a pile of something near the fire, covered in flies. You move closer, and the smell hits you. Rotting meat. It's a partial carcass. Maybe a deer, maybe something else. It's been here for days, picked over, gnawed on, left to spoil, and yet people are still eating it. Your modern stomach rebels. Your gag reflex kicks in. But your caveman body sees food, calories. You watch as one of the tribe members tears off a chunk of the rancid meat, barely chews it, and swallows. No cooking, no seasoning, just raw, half-spoiled protein going down like it's a 5-star meal. You realize, with creeping horror, that this is normal. This is breakfast. But the meat won't last. It's almost gone, which means someone has to hunt. And hunting means leaving the cave. And leaving the cave means entering a world where you are not the apex predator, not even close. Outside, in the forest, in the grasslands, in the valleys, there are creatures that make modern lions look like house cats, saber-toothed tigers, cave bears, dire wolves, giant hyenas, and they're all faster, stronger, and hungrier than you. But if you don't hunt, you starve, and starvation is a slow, agonizing death that you will feel every second of. One of the men, broad-shouldered and missing an eye, picks up a spear. It's not a sleek, balanced weapon. It's a sharpened stick, fire-hardened at the tip, crude and brutal, but it's all you have. He looks at you, grunts, gestures. You're coming. Your heart sinks, because you know what this means. Today, you're going hunting, and something out there is hunting you. Everywhere you look, there are plants, bushes heavy with berries, roots poking through the soil, mushrooms clustered on fallen logs, flowers, grasses, leaves. Your modern mind thinks, salad, I can eat salad. Your caveman body thinks, poison, poison, maybe poison, definitely poison. Because here's the thing, most plants will kill you. Not quickly, not dramatically, but slowly, painfully. As your stomach cramps, your vision blurs, your organs shut down, and there's no hospital, no poison control, no activated charcoal. You eat the wrong plant, and you die. The tribe knows this. They've learned through trial and error, through generations of watching people eat something and then never wake up. They know which berries are safe, which roots can be boiled, which mushrooms are food and which are death. But you don't know. You're a stranger in your own body, in a world where every meal is a gamble. You watch as the scarred woman kneels by a patch of roots, digs one up with her bare hands, sniffs it, takes a tiny bite, chews slowly, waits. She spits it out, shakes her head. Not this one. She moves on, finds another plant, repeats the process. Bite, chew, wait. This time she swallows, nods, digs up more, This is foraging. This is science. This is survival. But you're useless. You can't tell the difference between a nutritious tuber and a deadly nightshade. You're one mistake away from a very bad day. So you watch, you learn, you memorize. This leaf shape is safe. That berry color means death. This smell is food. That smell is poison. But learning takes time, and you don't have time. You have hours. And every second you spend not eating is a second closer to collapse. The woman hands you a root. It's dirty, bitter, fibrous. You bite into it, and it tastes like dirt and despair, but it's food, and food is life. You chew, you swallow, you survive. For now, raw meat and parasites. The hunting party returns at midday, dragging a bloodied animal behind them. It's small, maybe a wild pig, maybe something else. It doesn't matter. It's meat. The tribe descends on it like a pack of wolves. Knives really just sharp rocks. Flash in the firelight. Skin is peeled back. Organs are pulled out. Blood pools on the cave floor. And then they eat. Right there. Raw. Your modern brain screams, cook it. Bacteria. Parasites. Trichinosis. But there's no time. The meat is fresh. And fresh means it won't last. They eat as much as they can. As fast as they can. Because who knows when the next kill will come. Someone hands you a chunk of liver. Still warm. Still dripping. You stare at it. Your stomach churns. But you're so hungry. So hungry. You close your eyes. You bite. The taste is overwhelming. Metallic. Rich. Slippery. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just food. Your body doesn't care about flavor. It cares about calories. And this is pure, dense, life-giving fuel. You swallow. You take another bite. You stop thinking. But here's the thing. Raw meat is a gamble. Parasites live in muscle tissue, worms, bacteria, diseases that don't have names yet. Because germ theory won't exist for 50,000 years. Some of the tribe members have distended bellies, a sign of intestinal worms. Some cough blood. Some have sores that won't heal. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. You get sick. You either survive or you don't. That's the system. You finish eating. Your stomach feels heavy. Full for the first time in what feels like forever. But in the back of your mind, a timer starts ticking. Did you just eat your salvation or your death sentence? You won't know for days, maybe weeks, and by then it'll be too late. Saber-toothed tigers. Think your dinner te. You hear it before you see it. A low, rumbling growl that vibrates through the ground, through your bones, through your soul. It's not the sound a modern cat makes. It's deeper, older, hungrier. Everyone freezes. The scarred woman drops the root she was holding. The one-eyed hunter raises his spear. A child whimpers and is immediately silenced by a hand over their mouth. Because out there in the tall grass, something is watching, waiting, hunting. You see the grass move, a ripple of gold and black. And then, for just a moment, you see it. A saber-toothed tiger. It's massive. Bigger than any lion you've ever seen in a zoo. Its shoulders are thick with muscle. Its paws are the size of dinner plates. And its teeth, those teeth, two curved, gleaming daggers that jut from its upper jaw like ivory scimitars, built to puncture, to tear, to kill. It stares at you, and you realize with cold certainty that it's deciding, is this prey worth the effort? The tribe doesn't run. Running triggers the chase reflex. Running means death. Instead, they spread out, slowly, carefully, making themselves look bigger. The one-eyed hunter steps forward, spear raised, and makes a sound, a deep guttural roar that's half challenge, half bluff. The tiger watches. It shifts its weight. Its tail flicks. And then, after what feels like an eternity, it turns and disappears back into the grass. You exhale. Your legs are shaking. Your heart is pounding so hard you think it might break through your ribs. But you're alive. This time. The one-eyed hunter looks at you. His expression is clear. Welcome to the food chain. You're not at the top. Apode. Cave bears own your home. The tribe returns to the cave as the sun begins to set. And that's when you see it. The entrance is blocked. Not by a rock slide. Not by debris. By something alive. A cave bear. It's standing on its hind legs. easily 10 feet tall, its massive head swaying as it sniffs the air. Its fur is matted and scarred, its claws are as long as your fingers, and it's standing in the doorway to your only shelter, because here's the thing, you don't own this cave, you're borrowing it, and sometimes the real owner comes back. Cave bears don't just tolerate humans, they tolerate us the way a landlord tolerates a squatter, with extreme prejudice. The tribe stops. No one moves. No one breathes. The bear drops to all fours, its weight shaking the ground. It huffs, snorts, swings its massive head toward the group, and then it charges. Everyone scatters. The one-eyed hunter hurls his spear, and it bounces off the bear's shoulder like a toothpick. The scarred woman grabs a child and sprints into the trees. You run, your legs pumping, your lungs burning, your mind blank with terror. The bear doesn't chase everyone. It picks a target, an older man, slower, limping. It's on him in seconds. You hear the screams. You don't look back. The tribe regroups in the trees, panting, terrified. The bear is still at the cave entrance, roaring its dominance. It will stay there, maybe for hours, maybe for days. You have no shelter now, no fire, no safety, and night is coming. Appalled. Even birds want to kill you. You think the ground is dangerous. Look up. High above, circling in lazy spirals, are shapes that make your blood run cold. They're not eagles, they're not hawks, there's something worse. Terror birds. Giant raptors with beaks, like meat hooks and talons that could tear a man apart. They hunt in packs, they're fast, and they've learned that humans are slow, soft and delicious. One of them dives. You don't see it coming. One moment, you're walking through the grassland. The next, there's a shadow, a scream, and a child is gone. Just snatched into the air, kicking and wailing, lifted higher and higher until the sound fades, and the shape disappears into the clouds. The tribe stops, stares. No one moves to help, because there is no help. The child is already dead. They keep walking. You feel sick, horrified, but you keep walking too, because stopping means you're next. The sky isn't safe, the ground isn't safe, the trees aren't safe. Nowhere is safe. You are prey, and this world is full of predators.
Tao. Ice Age is coming. The temperature drops fast. One moment, the sun is setting, painting the sky in shades of red and gold. The next, the wind picks up, cold and sharp, cutting through your skin like knives. This isn't winter as you know it. This is the Ice Age. And it's not a metaphor, it's a slow, creeping apocalypse that will last for thousands of years. The tribe huddles together, away from the cave, exposed to the elements. No one has a plan. No one knows what to do. You can't fight the cold. You can't hunt it. You can't reason with it. You just endure. Your teeth chatter. Your fingers go numb. Your breath comes out in clouds that freeze in the air. You wrap your arms around yourself. But it's not enough. It's never enough. The one-eyed hunter makes a decision. He gestures to a cluster of rocks, a small outcropping that might block the wind. The tribe moves, crawling into the cramped space, pressing bodies together for warmth. This is survival now. Huddling, shivering, waiting for dawn. You squeeze between two bodies, their skin hot against yours, their breath ragged and desperate. You've never been this close to strangers. You've never needed to be. But here now, their warmth is the only thing keeping you alive. And you realize you're not an individual anymore. You're part of a collective, a single organism trying to survive the night. If one person dies, everyone gets a little colder and a little closer to death themselves, pacing the cave that's not occupied as dawn comes and the tribe moves. They can't stay in the open. They need shelter, real shelter, which means finding a cave that's not occupied by bears or wolves or rival tribes. You walk for hours, scouting. The landscape is brutal. Jagged rocks, dense forests, freezing rivers. Every step is a gamble. Every shadow might hide danger. And then finally you find one. A cave. Dark, silent, empty. Or is it? The one-eyed hunter approaches cautiously, spear raised. He sniffs the air, listens, watches, then he steps inside. For a moment, there's nothing, just darkness and silence, and then he screams. He stumbles backward, blood pouring from a gash across his face. Something is inside, something fast, something angry. Wolves, a pack of dire wolves, massive and feral, burst from the cave entrance. They don't run, they attack. Spears flash, teeth snap, blood sprays. You grab a rock, the only weapon you have, and swing blindly. You feel impact, hear a yelp, but you don't stop. You can't stop. The fight is over in seconds. 3 wolves dead, 2 tribe members wounded, 1 child missing a chunk of their arm. You won the cave, but the price was steep. Fire, the ultimate technology. Inside the cave, the first priority is fire. Without fire, you freeze. Without fire, predators attack. Without fire, you're just meat in the dark. The one-eyed hunter pulls out a tool, a flat stone, a piece of flint, and a bundle of dry grass. He strikes the flint against the stone. Sparks fly. Nothing happens. He strikes again, again. Finally, a spark catches. The grass smolders. He blows gently, coaxing the ember into a flame. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. The tribe gathers around the tiny fire, feeding it twigs, sticks, anything that will burn. The flames grow. The warmth spreads. The darkness retreats. For the first time all day, you feel safe, but the fire is fragile. It needs constant attention. Someone has to stay awake, feeding it, protecting it, making sure it never goes out, because if it does, you start over, and starting over might mean death. You volunteer for first watch, not because you're brave, but because you're terrified of waking up in the cold, in the dark, alone. You sit by the fire, watching the flames dance, and you realize this is humanity's first technology. Not the wheel, not writing, not tools. Fire, the ability to hold light in your hands, to keep the cold at bay, to transform night into something survivable. And you understand, for the first time, why ancient humans worshipped it. Survival requires a groupo. You've been alone before. Maybe you lived alone in your old life. Maybe you liked it. But here, alone means dead. You watch the tribe, and you start to understand the rules. Everyone has a role. Everyone contributes. If you don't pull your weight, you're not kicked out. You're just ignored, left behind, forgotten. The strong hunt, the fast gather, the clever make tools, the old teach, the young learn. Everyone matters. Even you. They give you tasks. Simple ones at first. Carry water, gather sticks, watch the fire. But you do them, because doing them means you belong, and belonging means survival. You start to recognize faces. The scarred woman who leads the foraging, the one-eyed hunter who protects the group, the child who clings to your leg, trusting you, depending on you. You're not just surviving, you're becoming part of something, a unit, a family, a tribe. And you realize this is what humans are built for. Not isolation, not independence, connection, cooperation, collective survival. You're not strong enough to fight a bear alone, but together, you have a chance. Pope, the alpha caveman rules, but not everyone is equal. There's a hierarchy, clear, brutal, unchallengeable. The one-eyed hunter is the alpha, not because he's the biggest, not because he's the smartest, but because he's proven himself. He's killed predators, he's led hunts, he's made the hard decisions that kept people alive. When he speaks, everyone listens. When he gestures, everyone moves. When he's angry, everyone is terrified. You watch as a younger man challenges him. It's subtle, a refusal to follow an order, a muttered sound of defiance. The one-eyed hunter doesn't hesitate. He grabs the younger man by the throat, slams him against the cave wall, and roars in his face. The younger man submits immediately. Head down, body still, silent. Message received. You realize leadership here isn't about democracy. It's about dominance, strength, fear, And if you want to survive, you stay in line, you follow orders, you don't question. Because rebellion means exile, and exile means death, mating in the Stone Age. You notice the way the tribe pairs off at night, men and women, bodies pressed together, grunting and gasping in the darkness. This isn't romance. There's no dating, no flowers, no marriage proposals. This is biology, raw, primal, urgent. Humans need to reproduce, and reproduction requires sex. So they have sex, often, publicly, without shame. You watch, uncomfortable, as two people couple near the fire. No one else seems bothered. It's just normal. Children are born constantly, and they die constantly. Disease, starvation, predators, accidents. The mortality rate is staggering, but the tribe keeps trying, because the only way to survive as a species is to outnumber the deaths. With births, you see a woman, heavily pregnant, still foraging, still working, still contributing. She gives birth alone, in the corner of the cave, biting down on a leather strap to keep from screaming. The baby is born. It cries. It lives, for now. And you realize, this is humanity's strategy, not individual survival, species survival. Keep reproducing, keep trying, keep hoping that some of the children make it, because that's the only way forward. Your first stone tool day. The one-eyed hunter hands you a rock and gestures at another rock. You stare at him, confused. He demonstrates. He strikes one rock against the other, angling the blow just right. A flake of stone chips off, sharp and clean. He hands you the flake. It's a knife, crude, rough, but functional. You try to replicate the process. You strike the rocks together. Nothing happens. You try again. The rock shatters. You try again. Your knuckles bleed. You try again. Finally, after what feels like hours, you produce a single usable flake. The hunter nods. Approval. You've just made your first tool. It doesn't feel like much. It's just a sharp rock. But it's also everything. With this, you can cut meat, scrape hides, defend yourself, build. This is technology. This is progress. This is the foundation of civilization. And it started with 2 rocks, wooden spears and clubs. Next, you learn to make weapons. The hunter takes you to a grove of trees and shows you how to select the right wood. Too thick, it's heavy. Too thin, it breaks. Just right, it becomes a spear. He cuts a branch, strips the bark, sharpens the tip with a stone blade, and then hardens it in the fire. The wood chars, blackens, becomes as hard as bone. You try to make your own. Your first attempt is crooked. Your second breaks in half. Your third is too short. But your fourth is functional. You hold it, feeling the weight, the balance. It's not much, but it's yours, and it might save your life. The hunter hands you a club next. Just a thick branch with a knot at the end. Brutal, simple, effective. You swing it experimentally. It's heavy, awkward, but you can feel the power in it. One good hit, and something dies. You're armed now, not well, but enough. And that's all survival requires. Enough. Toad, animal hide clothing. The cold is constant, relentless. Your skin is covered in goosebumps. Your body shivers non-stop. The scarred woman approaches you with a bundle of fur. She gestures for you to put it on. It's not clothing in the modern sense. It's an animal hide, crudely scraped, poorly tanned, still stiff in places. It smells like death and smoke and sweat. But it's warm. She shows you how to tie it around your body, using strips of sinew as makeshift rope. It's uncomfortable, itchy, heavy, but you're not shivering anymore. She gestures at the pile of hides near the fire and makes a scraping motion. Your job, make more. You sit down with a stone scraper and start working. The process is brutal. Scrape the flesh off, stretch the hide, rub it with fat, smoke it, repeat. Your hands blister, your back aches, but you keep going, because clothing is survival, and survival is all that matters. Bacteria. You've never encountered dust. Your stomach cramps in the middle of the night. At first you think it's hunger, then you realize it's something worse. You stagger outside the cave, away from the tribe, and empty your bowels in the darkness. It's liquid, painful, endless. You've eaten something bad, or maybe something in the water, or maybe it's just the fact that you're living in filth, surrounded by disease, with no immunity to the bacteria that thrive in this world. You collapse, weak, shivering, burning with fever. The scarred woman finds you at dawn. She doesn't speak. She just pulls you back into the cave, lays you near the fire, and forces you to drink water mixed with herbs. It tastes like dirt and death, but you drink. For 3 days, you're delirious, hallucinating, drifting in and out of consciousness. You don't know if you're dying. You don't know if this is normal. You don't know anything. But on the 4th day, the fever breaks. You wake up weak, hollow, but alive. The woman nods. You survived. This healing without modern medicine. You watch as the tribe treats injuries with methods that would horrify a modern doctor. A man with a deep cut on his arm. They pack it with moss and mud, then wrap it with a strip of hide. No stitches, no disinfectant, just pressure and hope. A child with a broken bone. They straighten it, tie it to a stick, and let it heal. If it heals crooked, so be it. A woman with a tooth infection. They hold her down and yank the tooth out with a rock. She screams. Blood pours. They give her a piece of leather to bite and send her back to work. There's no anesthesia, no painkillers, just raw, brutal survival medicine. And yet, some of them survive. Not all, but some. The human body is resilient, more resilient than you ever imagined. You learn which plants reduce fever, which ones stop bleeding, which ones ease pain. You learn to clean wounds with boiled water, to pack them with moss, to watch for signs of infection and amputate before it spreads. You become a healer, not by choice, but by necessity, because in this world, everyone is a doctor, or everyone dies. Death is everywhere. You wake up one morning, and the child who clung to your leg is gone, not missing, dead. Their body is cold, stiff, lying near the fire. No one is crying, no one is mourning. They just move the body outside and keep going. You're horrified, heartbroken, but no one else seems affected. Because death is normal here, expected, constant. Children die, adults die, everyone dies. And the only way to cope is to keep moving, keep surviving, keep trying. You watch as they bury the child in a shallow grave, covering them with stones to keep predators away. There's no ceremony, no words, just a brief pause, and then back to work. You realize grief is a luxury, and luxuries don't exist in... Everything is magic and scary. To sit by the fire, watching the shadows dance on the cave walls, and you start to understand why they're so afraid. They don't know why the sun rises. They don't know where the moon goes. They don't know what causes thunder, lightning, earthquakes, storms, so they create explanations. Spirits, gods, magic. The one-eyed hunter points at the sky and makes a guttural sound. He's not naming the stars, he's praying to them. The scarred woman draws symbols on the cave wall with charcoal, not art, ritual. She's asking the spirits for a successful hunt, for protection, for mercy. Everything is alive. The trees, the rocks, the river, the wind, and everything is dangerous. The spirits can help you, or they can kill you, and no one knows which. So you pray, you make offerings, you hope, because hope is all you have. Sun and moon worship. The tribe watches the sun like it's a god, because to them it is. When it rises, they celebrate. When it sets, they fear, because darkness brings predators, cold, death. The moon is worshipped too, not as a light source, but as a mystery. It changes shape, it disappears, it returns. What is it? Where does it go? Why does it control the tides, the animals, the rhythms of life? They don't have answers, so they worship. You watch as they perform rituals at dawn and dusk, dancing, chanting, offering food to the sky. It seems primitive, superstitious, pointless. But then you realize it gives them control. Not real control, but the illusion of control. And in a world where nothing is controllable, that illusion is everything. Death rituals and burial. When an elder dies, the tribe stops. This death is different. Not a child, not a sudden accident. This is a person who lived a full life, who contributed, who mattered. They carry the body to a clearing and dig a grave, deeper than the others. More careful, they place the body inside, along with tools, weapons, food, because they believe the dead need these things for the journey ahead. Where are they going? No one knows, but they're going somewhere, and they need to be prepared. You watch as they cover the grave with stones, forming a cairn, a marker, a memory, and for the first time you see them cry. Not loud, not dramatic, just silent tears, rolling down weathered faces. They're human, just like you. They love, they grieve, they hope, and that makes their survival even more miraculous. Winter, the death season, the temperature plummets. Not gradually, not with warning. One day, the air is cold. The next day, it's lethal. Snow begins to fall, soft at first, almost beautiful, drifting down like ash from a distant fire. But beauty is a luxury, and luxury doesn't exist here. Within hours, the ground is covered. Within days, the world has transformed into an alien landscape of white death. This is the death season, and everyone knows it. You watch as the tribe's behavior shifts. The casual confidence of summer is gone. The cautious optimism of autumn has evaporated. What remains is a grim, silent determination. Eyes are harder. Movements are more calculated. Every decision is weighed against a single terrifying question. Will this help us survive until spring? Food becomes scarce. The animals you've been hunting, the herds of deer and wild horses that sustained you through warmer months, they're gone, migrated south to lands you can't reach, or hibernating in dens you can't find. The forest is empty. The grasslands are barren. The river, once teeming with fish, is now a ribbon of ice. Plants die. The roots you foraged, the berries you gathered, the edible leaves that supplemented your diet, they're all buried under snow or frozen solid in the ground. You try digging through the snow with your bare hands, your fingers going numb, your nails breaking, and you find nothing. Just frozen earth. Unyielding. Merciless. The tribe huddles in the cave, burning through their stored food, rationing every scrap, stretching supplies that will never, ever be enough. You do the math in your head, or try to with your primitive counting skills. How many people? How much food? How many days until spring? The numbers don't add up. They never add up. There's not enough. There will never be enough. People start to starve. Not fast, not the dramatic collapse you've seen in movies. This is slow, insidious, a gradual theft of life, day by day, bite by bite. Their bodies eat themselves, muscles waste away, consumed for fuel. Skin sags, losing its elasticity, hanging loose on frames that are shrinking. Eyes become hollow, sinking deeper into skulls, losing their light. Cheekbones protrude, ribs become visible, bellies distend, swollen with gas and emptiness. Children die first. Their small bodies don't have reserves. One day they're playing, weak but alive. The next day they're lying still, eyes closed, breathing shallow. The day after that they don't wake up. You watch a mother hold her dead child, rocking back and forth, making a sound that's not quite crying, not quite howling. It's something else, something primal and shattered, the sound of a heart breaking in real time. No one tries to comfort her. There's no comfort to give. They just look away and keep rationing the food. Then the elderly die, the ones who survived 50 winters, 60, who carried the tribe's knowledge and stories and wisdom. They stop eating, voluntarily, pushing their portions toward the younger members, the ones who might make it, who might see spring. You try to refuse, you try to give the food back, but the old woman, her face a map of scars and wrinkles, just shakes her head. She's made her choice. This is her final contribution, her last act of love. 3 days later, she's gone. Then the weak die. Anyone with an injury, anyone sick, anyone who wasn't strong enough to begin with. The tribe doesn't kill them. They don't have to. Winter does the work, not the manageable hunger of skipping a meal. This is a hunger that consumes your thoughts, dominates every waking moment, invades your dreams, annoying, aching, desperate emptiness that never stops, never fades, never gives you peace. Your stomach cramps constantly. Your body is digesting itself, breaking down muscle tissue for energy, cannibalizing its own mass to keep your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your brain barely functioning, stripping it from trees with your fingernails, chewing the fibrous, tasteless pulp, swallowing it even though it provides almost no nutrition, just the illusion of fullness, just something to put in your stomach to quiet the screaming void. You eat root, not the nutritious ones you found in summer. Those are gone. These are the desperate roots, the ones that taste like dirt and poison, the ones that make you sick but might keep you alive another day. You eat insects, the few you can find, hibernating under logs, burrowed in the earth, beetles, grubs, worms. You chew them without thinking, without tasting, because taste is irrelevant, only calories matter. You boil them in water until they're soft enough to chew, and then you eat them, your jaw working for hours, your teeth grinding against the tough fibers, swallowing tiny pieces that provide almost nothing but take everything to digest. But it's not enough. It's never enough. You lose weight rapidly. Your body, which was powerful and dense at the start of winter, becomes gaunt. Your ribs show. Your hip bones protrude. Your face becomes skeletal. But you're one of the lucky ones. You're young enough, strong enough. You adapt. Others aren't so fortunate.
You watch as the tribe grows quieter, weaker, more desperate. Conversations stop. No one has the energy for communication. You sit in silence, staring at the fire, watching the flames consume wood you can't afford to burn, but can't afford not to. The cold is relentless. It seeps through the cave walls, through your clothing, through your skin, into your bones. You're cold all the time. Even next to the fire, even wrapped in furs, you can't get warm. Your body doesn't have enough fuel to generate heat. You're a dying engine, sputtering on empty. Your thoughts slow down, become sluggish. You have trouble concentrating, trouble remembering, trouble doing anything except existing in this frozen moment of suffering. And you realize winter is the filter, the test, the great culling. Nature doesn't care about your plans, doesn't care about your efforts, doesn't care about justice or fairness or who deserves to live. Only the strongest survive, and you're not sure you're strong enough. One night, you almost give up. You're so cold, so hungry, so tired of fighting. It would be easy to close your eyes and drift away, to let the cold take you. But then you feel something, a hand, the scarred woman, barely alive herself, reaching out in the darkness, finding your hand, squeezing it. You're not alone. And as long as you're not alone, you keep fighting, because that's what humans do. We endure, together. Winter feels endless. But you know somewhere in your primitive brain that it's not. Spring is coming. It's always coming. You just have to survive long enough to see it. Spring, hunting season returns. And then, one morning, the air changes. It's subtle, so subtle you almost miss it. But it's there, a shift in the wind, a gentleness in the cold, a softness you haven't felt in months. It's warmer, just a little, just barely, but enough. You step outside the cave, and for the first time in what feels like forever, you don't immediately retreat from the cold. You stand there, breathing, and the air doesn't hurt. Your lungs don't burn, your skin doesn't scream. The snow is melting, not everywhere, not completely, but around the edges, dripping from rocks, running in tiny rivulets, down the hillside. The sound of water, liquid water, is intoxicating. Spring, the word doesn't exist in your vocabulary, but the concept explodes in your chest like a bomb of hope. The tribe stirs. Everyone who survived, everyone who made it through the death season, emerges from the cave
like ghosts returning to life. You're all skeletal, weak, barely functional, but you're alive, and life means possibility. The river thaws. First the edges, then the center. Ice cracks with sounds like thunder, breaking apart, drifting away. And beneath the ice, movement, fish, actual fish, swimming, living, edible fish. The tribe descends on the river like starving animals, because that's exactly what you are. You wade into the freezing water, your numb feet slipping on rocks, and you grab at the fish with your bare hands. Most escape, but some don't, and every fish you catch is a miracle. You eat it raw right there in the water, tearing into the flesh with your teeth, swallowing without chewing. It's the most delicious thing you've ever tasted, not because it tastes good, but because it's food, real food, protein, life. The forest begins to wake. Buds appear on trees. The first green shoots push through the melting snow. Birds return, their songs filling the air after months of silence. You hear them and want to cry, because birdsong means spring, and spring means survival. But the real miracle comes a week later. The animals return. Herds of deer moving north from their winter grounds, traveling through the valley. Not just a few, hundreds, thousand. River of living meat, flowing past your territory like a gift from the gods. The tribe explodes into activity. This is it. This is the moment you've been waiting for, suffering for, dying for. Hunting season. Everyone who can walk grabs a weapon. Spears, clubs, rocks, anything. The plan is simple. Kill as much as you can, as fast as you can, before the herd passes. You join the hunting party, your legs weak, your hands shaking, but your determination absolute. You've starved for months. You've watched people die. You've lived in hell. Now it's time to feast. The hunt is chaos. Pure, primal, beautiful chaos. You run with the tribe, screaming, howling, driving the deer toward a narrow canyon where they can't escape. The animals panic, stampeding, crushing each other in their terror. Some fall, some break their legs, some turn and try to fight. You throw your spear. It's a terrible throw, weak and poorly aimed. But you're not alone. 30 other spears fly through the air, and some of them hit. A deer goes down, then another, then 5 more. The tribe descends. Knives flash, blood sprays. You're covered in it, soaked in it, drinking it as it spurts from open throats. You're not human anymore. You're a predator, and this is your kill. The hunt lasts for hours. By the end, 15 deer are dead. 15. More meat than you've seen in months. More calories than you can count. You collapse in the grass, panting, bleeding from cuts you don't remember getting. And you laugh. Actually laugh. A sound that feels foreign after months of silent suffering. The tribe works through the night, butchering the kills. Nothing is wasted. Meat is stripped from bones. Organs are removed and eaten immediately. Hides are scraped and stretched. Bones are cracked open for marrow. Tendons are saved for rope. Antlers are kept for tool. You eat until you can't move. And then you eat more. For the first time since winter began, bellies are full. Faces regain color. Strength returns. People smile. Some even laugh. Children play. Actual play. Running. Chasing each other. Making sounds of joy. You forgot that was possible. The scarred woman sits next to you, chewing on a piece of liver, and she looks at you with something that might be respect. You survived. You made it. You're one of them now, not just a visitor, not just a confused modern mind trapped in a primitive body. You're a member of the tribe, a survivor, and you realize you've changed. The person who woke up in this cave months ago, terrified and helpless, is gone. You're harder now, tougher, more brutal, but also more alive than you've ever been, because you've earned this meal, this moment, this life. You've survived winter, and that means you can survive anything.
RN summer. Preparation time. Summer arrives like a warm exhale after months of holding your breath. The world transforms. The landscape that was frozen and dead explodes with life. Grass grows tall and green. Flowers bloom in impossible colors. Trees are heavy with leaves. The air smells like pollen and earth and rain. It's beautiful, intoxicating, overwhelming, but the tribe doesn't celebrate. They don't relax. They don't enjoy the warmth and abundance, because they know they've lived through enough cycles to understand the fundamental truth of existence. In 50,000 BCE, summer is not a vacation. It's a countdown. Winter is coming. Always. Inevitably. And the only way to survive it is to prepare, to work, to gather, to hoard, to store every possible calorie, every scrap of food, every resource that might mean the difference between life and death. The tribe's entire focus shifts to preparation. Every day, from sunrise to sunset, everyone works. There are no days off, no rest, no leisure, just constant, exhausting labor. You join the foraging parties, ranging farther from the cave than ever before, searching for food. Berries grow in thick clusters on bushes. You pick them until your fingers are stained purple, filling containers made from woven grass and bark. Each berry is a tiny investment in winter survival. Nuts fall from trees, acorns, hazelnuts, whatever the forest provides. You gather them by the thousands, cracking them open, removing the shells, storing the meat in leather pouches. Your hands develop new calluses. Your back aches from bending, reaching, carrying. Roots are everywhere. You dig them up with sticks and bare hands, your fingernails perpetually caked with dirt. Some are sweet, some are bland, some require cooking to be edible. You don't care. You gather them all. The hunters are even busier. They know that fresh meat won't last, but dried meat will. So they hunt constantly, killing everything they can. Deer, wild horses, rabbits, birds, anything that moves. And then comes the processing. You learn to preserve meat. It's a brutal, time-consuming process. First, the kill is butchered. Meat is stripped from bones in thin slices. Then it's hung on racks built from branches, positioned over smoking fires. The smoke preserves the meat, drying it, infusing it with flavors that mask the taste of decay. You tend these fires day and night. Too much smoke and the meat becomes inedible. Too little, and it rots. It's a delicate balance, and failure means starvation months later. The smell is overwhelming. Smoke and meat and fat. A thick, greasy smell that permeates everything. Your clothes, your hair, your skin. You smell like a butcher shop. Everyone does. But you don't complain. This smell means survival. Hides are processed too. Every animal killed provides not just food but materials. The tribe needs clothing, bedding, containers. So you learn to tan hides, scraping them clean, rubbing them with animal brains, which somehow makes the leather soft, stretching them to dry. It's disgusting work. Your hands are constantly covered in blood and fat and brain matter. But it's necessary work, and necessity overrides disgust. Wood is gathered, mountains of it. Entire trees are cut down using stone axes, a process that takes days of exhausting labor. The wood is dragged back to the cave, stacked near the entrance, a fortress of fuel against the coming cold. You chop wood until your arms feel like they're going to fall off. Your shoulders burn, your hands blister and bleed, but you keep chopping, because when winter comes, fire is life. Water is stored. The tribe digs pits near the cave, lining them with hides, filling them with water from the river. Some of it will freeze, some will leak, but some will remain, precious liquid to sustain you when the river is solid ice. Everyone has a role. The strong hunt and chop wood. The fast gather berries and nuts. The clever make tools and contain it. The old teach the young which plants are safe, which animals are dangerous, which methods work best. Children work too, not as hard, but they contribute. They gather small sticks for kindling. They watch the smoking fires. They learn by doing, by failing, by trying again. You're assigned multiple tasks, rotating through the tribe's workforce like a cog in a survival machine. You hunt in the morning, process meat in the afternoon, gather wood in the evening. You fall asleep exhausted, wake up sore, and do it all again. Days blur together, weeks pass in a haze of labor. You lose track of time. It doesn't matter.
All that matters is the work. You watch the tribe's food stores grow, stacks of dried meat, piles of nuts, bags of roots. It looks like a lot. It looks like plenty. But you remember last winter. You remember the hunger, the cold, the death. And you know it's not enough. It's never enough. So you work harder. Everyone does, pushing through exhaustion, through pain, through the voice in your head that says just rest, just stop, just give up. Because giving up means dying, and you've come too far to die now. One evening, you collapse near the fire, your body screaming in protest. You've been working for 16 hours straight. Your hands are bleeding, your feet are blistered, your muscles are beyond exhaustion. The one-eyed hunter sits down next to you. He hands you a piece of dried meat. You chew it slowly, your jaw too tired to work properly. He points at the food stores, then at the sky where the sun is setting earlier each day, then at you. The message is clear. This is how we survive. This is the price of life. You nod. You understand. Summer is not a gift, it's an opportunity, and you're taking it. Because winter is coming, and when it does, you'll be ready. This tribal warfare is constant. You're gathering water at the river when you see them. Another tribe, across the water, watching. At first you think maybe they're friendly. Maybe they're just passing through. Maybe human contact doesn't have to mean violence. Then you see their weapons, spears, raised, clubs, ready. And their posture, low, aggressive, predatory. They're not friendly. They're not curious. They're calculating, measuring, deciding if you're a threat or an opportunity. The one-eyed hunter sees them too. He doesn't wave. He doesn't call out. He just stares back, silent, unmoving, his hand slowly reaching for the spear on his back. This is the warning. This is the line. This is the moment where two groups of humans, both desperate, both hungry, both fighting for survival, decide what comes next. For a long moment, nobody moves. It's a standoff, a test of wills. Each side evaluating the other, looking for weakness, counting numbers, calculating odds. You count them, 8 visible, maybe more hidden in the trees. Your group has 6. The math is bad, but running isn't an option. Running shows weakness, and weakness invites attack. The leader of the other tribe, a massive man with a scarred chest and dead eyes, takes a step forward, into the water, testing. The one-eyed hunter takes a step forward too, matching, not backing down. Another moment of silence. The only sound is the river, flowing between two groups of primates, who might kill each other in the next 5 seconds. Then the rival leader smiles. Not a friendly smile, a predator's smile. The smile of someone who's decided the fight isn't worth it. Today, he takes a step back. His tribe follows. They melt into the forest, disappearing like smoke. But they're not gone. They're just waiting, watching, planning. The one-eyed hunter turns to you. His expression is grim. He makes a gesture, a slashing motion across his throat, then points to the forest. They'll be back, and next time, they'll bring more. You return to the cave, and the tribe's entire demeanor changes. The casual work of summer stops. Now everything is preparation for war, because you realize with creeping horror that you're not just fighting predators, you're not just fighting nature, you're fighting other humans. And humans are the most dangerous predators of all. Resources are limited. Food, water, shelter, territory, everything that keeps you alive is finite. And when resources are finite, competition is inevitable. The other tribe doesn't hate you. They don't have a grudge. They just need what you have, and if they can take it, they will. Later that night, the tribe gathers around the fire. The one-eyed hunter scratches in the dirt, drawing a crude map. The river, the cave, the forest, the rival tribe's last known location. He points to different areas, making sounds and gestures. Strategy, plans, defense positions. You realize this isn't new. This is routine. Tribal warfare isn't an aberration. It's constant, ongoing, a permanent state of existence. Every resource is contested. Every hunting ground is disputed. Every water source is a potential battlefield. You learn the rules fast. Territory is sacred. If another tribe crosses into your hunting grounds, you fight, not because you want to, but because if you don't, they'll take everything. And you'll stop. The scarred woman starts training younger members in combat. Not formal training, just brutal, practical lessons. How to thrust a spear, where to aim to kill quickly, how to defend against a club, how to fight even when you're terrified. You join the training. You're not a warrior. You're a confused modern mind in a caveman body. But you're learning, because you have to. You practice with wooden spears, jabbing at targets, missing more than hitting. The scarred woman corrects your stance, your grip, your aim. She's patient but firm, because mistakes in training mean death in battle. Weapons are maintained obsessively, spears are sharpened, clubs are balanced, rocks are selected for throwing. Every tool is checked, tested, prepared. The tribe establishes watch rotations. Someone is always awake, always watching, always ready. You take shifts, sitting in the darkness outside the cave, listening to every sound, your spear clutched in sweating hands. Every rustle might be wind, or it might be enemies. You learn to tell the difference, the way branches move, the pattern of sound, the feeling in your gut that something is wrong. Alliances are discussed. The one-eyed hunter makes contact with another nearby tribe, smaller but friendly. They exchange gifts, food, tools, information, a silent agreement. If either is attacked, the other helps, because isolation is death. In this world, you need allies, people who will fight beside you, people who share your enemies. You start to understand the mathematics of prehistoric warfare. Numbers matter, weapons matter, but more than anything, commitment matters. The willingness to fight, to kill, to die if necessary. The rival tribe is still out there, watching, waiting, probing for weakness. And the question isn't if they'll attack, it's when. Hunting humans. The raid comes at dawn. You wake to screams, not animal screams, human screams. High-pitched, terrified, die. Your eyes snap open, and for a split second you're confused, disoriented, thinking it's a nightmare. Then you see them, bodies crashing through the cave entrance, shadows with spears, faces twisted with rage and desperation. The rival tribe, they're inside, they're here, they're attacking. You roll sideways as a club smashes into the ground, where your head was a second ago. Instinct takes over. You grab your spear, the one you keep next to your sleeping spot, and you swing. The spear connects with something. You feel impact, hear a grunt, but you don't stop. You can't stop. The cave is chaos. People fighting, screaming, dying. The fire has been kicked apart. Embers scattered across the floor, providing just enough light to see nightmares. You see the scarred woman grappling with a rival warrior, her hands around his throat, his hands around hers, both squeezing, both refusing to let go. It's not skilled combat, it's raw, desperate, animal violence. You see a child, maybe 7 years old, stabbing repeatedly at an adult warrior with a sharpened stick. The warrior is already wounded, bleeding, weak. The child keeps stabbing, over and over, face black, mechanical, survival instinct, overriding everything else. You see the one-eyed hunter, fighting 3 men at once, his spear a blur of motion, blood flying with every strike. He's a machine, a weapon, but he's outnumbered. Someone tackles you from the side. You go down hard, your head cracking against stone. Stars explode in your vision, a weight on your chest, hands around your throat, squeezing. You can't breathe. You try to pull the hands away, but they're too strong. Your vision starts to blur. Your lungs scream for air. Your modern brain shuts down. Your caveman instincts take over. You stop trying to remove the hands. Instead, you reach up and jam your thumbs into the attacker's eyes, deep, as hard as you can. The attacker screams and releases. You suck in air, coughing, gag. The attacker rolls away, clutching their face. You don't think. You grab a rock from the cave floor and bring it down on their skull. Once, twice, 3 times. The screaming stops. You've just killed someone. Not a predator, not an animal, a human being. Your modern mind recoils in horror, but your caveman body doesn't care. You're alive. That's all that matters. The fight continues around you, but the tide is turning. The rival tribe is retreating. They came for a quick raid, A surprise attack to steal food and children. But they underestimated your tribe's readiness, your willingness to fight back. They retreat through the cave entrance, dragging their wounded, leaving their dead. The tribe doesn't chase them. Chasing means leaving the cave undefended, means walking into a potential ambush. You've won the battle. The sun rises, revealing the carnage. Bodies on the cave floor. Some are rivals, some are tribe members. Blood everywhere, smeared on walls, pooled in depressions, soaking into the earth. You count the losses. 3 tribe members dead. 1 was the old man who taught you to make fire. 1 was a woman who foraged with you. 1 was a child. 2 more are wounded. 1 has a deep gash across their chest. The other is missing fingers. Severed in the fight. They'll live, probably, but they'll never be the same. The rival tribe took a child, a young girl, maybe 5 years old, grabbed during the chaos, and carried away. You remember her. She used to play near the fire, making patterns in the ash. She's gone now, taken, and you know what that means. She'll be raised by the rival tribe, if she's lucky, if she's strong, if she survived, or she'll be killed, or traded, or enslaved. You sit on the cave floor, covered in blood, some of it yours, most of it not, and you realize, this is normal, this is life. Tribal warfare isn't an event, it's a constant state. Every tribe is at war with every other tribe. Always, forever, fighting over resources, over territory, over survival. There are no rules, no Geneva Convention, no laws of war, just brutality, efficiency, the willingness to do whatever it takes to live another day. The tribe begins the cleanup. Bodies are dragged outside, yours and theirs. They'll be buried or burned. It doesn't matter which. Weapons are cleaned, wounds are treated, the fire is rebuilt, and life continues, because it has to. You look at your hands, they're shaking, covered in dried blood. You killed someone today, took a human life with a rock, and your bare hand. Your modern conscience screams, murderer, monster. You could have stopped, you could have shown mercy, but your caveman survival instinct answers, they were killing you. You defended yourself. You survived, and in 50,000 BCE, survival is the only morality that mattered. The scarred woman walks over to you. She sees your expression, sees your shaking hands. She doesn't offer comfort, she just nods. Once, you understand the message. Welcome to the tribe. You've killed for us. You're one of us now. And you realize, you've crossed a line. You can never go back. You're not a modern person anymore. You're a survivor, a warrior, a killer. And that's what it takes to live in this world. Everyone works, driven by fear and determination. Rocks are piled at the entrance, not randomly, strategically, creating a barrier that forces attackers to climb, to expose themselves, to slow down. Every rock is a tactical advantage. Sharpened stakes are driven into the ground at angles, pointing outward. You help with this, finding straight branches, stripping them, sharpening the ends with stone knives, hardening the tips in fire. These aren't just obstacles, they're weapons, designed to impale anyone who charges carelessly. Traps are set around the perimeter, shallow pits covered with branches and grass, hiding sharpened sticks at the bottom, tripwires made from sinew, connected to logs suspended in trees, ready to swing down and crush. It's primitive, but effective. You learn the layout of every trap, where they are, how they work, because if you don't, you'll become a victim of your own defenses. The one-eyed hunter establishes a watch system. Guards are posted at the entrance, day and night, 2-hour shifts, rotating, ensuring everyone gets some sleep, but the cave is never undefended. You take your shifts, sitting in the darkness, outside the cave entrance, spear in hand, listening. Your senses are heightened by fear and exhaustion. Every sound is amplified. Every shadow is a potential enemy. You learn to distinguish between normal nighttime sounds and threats. The rustle of leaves in wind, the scurry of small animals, the hoot of an owl. These are safe, but the snap of a branch, the scrape of a weapon against stone, the sound of breathing that's not your own, these mean danger. On your 3rd night of watch, you hear something, a sound that doesn't belong. Movement, careful, deliberate. Your heart pounds, your hands tighten on your spear. You don't call out, you don't move, you just watch. Wait. A shadow detaches from the darkness, human-shaped, moving toward the cave, slowly, testing. A scout, checking the defenses, looking for weaknesses. You wait until they're close, almost close enough to touch. Then you make a sound, not loud, just a grunt, a warning. The shadow freezes. For a moment, nothing happens. Then they retreat, melting back into the darkness. They know the cave is defended, guarded, not an easy target. In the morning, you report to the one-eyed hunter. He listens, nods, and makes a decision. The defenses are working. The message is clear. Attacking this cave will be costly, but the threat remains. The rival tribe is still out there, still hungry, still desperate, and desperation makes people dangerous. The tribe establishes a new rule. No one goes anywhere alone, ever. Foraging parties are armed. Hunting groups are larger. Even going to the river for water requires multiple people, because isolation means vulnerability, and vulnerability means death. You're exhausted, constantly on edge, sleeping in short bursts, waking at your body is adapting, running on adrenaline and fear. But you know it can't last forever. The scarred woman organizes combat drills. Every few days, the tribe practices responding to attacks. Someone screams a warning. Everyone grabs weapons and takes positions. It's rehearsed, coordinated, muscle memory. You participate, learning the patterns, the positions, the signals, where to stand, where to strike, how to move as a unit rather than individuals. Because in battle, chaos is deadly, but coordination gives you a chance. The children are trained to, not to fight, but to hide, to know where the safe spots are, to stay silent, to understand that when the alarm sounds, they run to the back of the cave and don't come out until it's over. You watch a 5-year-old practice, hiding behind a rock formation, pressing themselves into the shadows, holding their breath. It should be heartbreaking, a child learning to hide from killers, but it's not. It's survival, and survival is beautiful. Weeks pass, the rival tribe doesn't attack again. Maybe they've decided the cost is too high. Maybe they've found easier targets. Maybe they're planning something bigger. You don't know, and not knowing is almost worse than knowing. You sit by the fire one night, unable to sleep, watching the flames, and you realize, this is your life now. Constant vigilance, constant fear, constant readiness for violence. There's no peace, no relaxation, no sense of safety. You're a soldier, always, forever, until you die or winter kills you, or disease takes you, or age catches up. The one-eyed hunter sits down next to you. He doesn't speak, just sits, watches the fire. After a long moment, he hands you something, a necklace made from carved bone. Simple, crude, but meaningful. You recognize it. It's the same kind the experienced warriors wear. A marker, a symbol. You've earned it. You've fought. You've killed. You've defended the tribe. You're not a visitor anymore. You're a warrior. You put the necklace on. It feels heavy, not the physical weight, the weight of what it represents. You've come so far, changed so much. The person who woke up in this cave, confused and terrified, is gone. You're someone else now, harder, stronger, more brutal, and you're not sure if that's progress or loss, but you're alive. And in 50,000 BCE, that's the only victory that matters.
First cave paintings. Painting. One evening, after the meal, after the weapons are cleaned and the fire is banked, the scarred woman does something unexpected. She picks up a piece of charcoal from the fire pit. Not to cook with, not to clean, she carries it to the cave wall, to a smooth section of stone that's been polished by years of smoke and touch. And she draws, not symbols, not writing, pictures. At first it's just a line, a curve, simple. Then another line, and another, and slowly a shape emerges. A deer, simple but recognizable. 4 legs, a body, antlers reaching upward. She's not just drawing, she's remembering, commemorating, teaching. You watch mesmerized as she adds more. A hunter, just a stick figure, really, but unmistakably human, holding a spear, positioned near the deer. This is a story, a hunt, a successful kill that happened days ago, now preserved on stone, transformed from temporary memory into permanent record. Other tribe members gather. No one interrupts. No one speaks. They just watch, bearing witness to something profound, even if they don't have words to express why it matters. She adds more details. Other hunters. The forest, represented by simple tree shapes. The sun, a circle with radiating lines. It's primitive, childlike, but also powerful, meaningful, sacred. This is the birth of storytelling, of history, of culture. Before this moment, experiences died with the people who lived them. Knowledge was passed through demonstration, through mimicry, through the fragile chain of watching and learning. But memory fades, people die, skills are lost. But this is permanent. This will remain after everyone here is dead. This is information that transcends individual lifespans. You understand with sudden clarity that you're witnessing one of humanity's most crucial innovations. Not fire, not tools, not weapons, but representation, the ability to capture reality in abstraction, to communicate across time. The scarred woman finishes the hunting scene. She steps back, examining her work. Then she dips her hand in a mixture of ochre and animal fat, a red paste that's been prepared for body decoration. She presses her hand against the wall, leaves it there for a moment, then pulls it away. A handprint, perfect, clear, unmistakable. She looks at you, makes a gesture. Your turn. You hesitate. Your modern mind is screaming about preservation, about archaeology, about not contaminating ancient sites. But then you remember, this isn't an ancient site. This is now. This is happening. You're not a tourist. You're a participant. You dip your hand in the ochre paste. It's cold, gritty, smells like earth and blood. You press your hand against the wall, next to hers. Hold it there. Feel the rough stone against your palm. When you pull away, your handprint remains. Your mark. Your proof. I was here. I survived. I met. Other tribe members add their handprints. A gallery of hands, spreading across the cave wall. Adults, children, elders. A timeline of the tribe, visible and permanent. You step back and look at the wall. This is more than decoration. This is identity. This is the tribe saying we exist. We are human. We create meaning beyond survival. The one-eyed hunter approaches the wall. He picks up another piece of charcoal. But he doesn't draw animals or hunts. He draws something else. Lines. Simple geometric patterns. Dots arranged in clusters. Zigzags. Spirals. You recognize them. Barely. These are the beginning of symbolic thought. Patterns that don't represent physical objects but concepts. Time. Seasons. Numbers. Territory. One pattern repeats. A series of vertical lines, grouped in fives. Tally marks. You realize he's counting, recording, creating a visual reference for something abstract. How many days until winter? How many successful hunts this season? How many tribe members? How many enemies? This is mathematics, primitive, visual, but functional. The tribe is no longer just reacting to the present. They're recording the past, planning the future, creating a knowledge base that can be referenced, studied, built upon. Over the following nights, the cave walls fill with images, hunts, predators, rituals, maps, patterns, stories. Each drawing adds to the collective knowledge. Each image is a lesson, a memory, a warning, a celebration. You contribute too. At first, your drawings are clumsy, worse than the others, but you practice, and slowly, you improve. You draw a saber-toothed tiger, capturing the terror of the encounter. You draw winter, represented by falling snow and empty bellies. You draw the rival tribe, their approach, the battle. These drawings become references. When teaching young hunters about predators, elders point to the cave wall. When preparing for winter, they reference the images of past harsh seasons. When planning defenses, they study the battle drawings. The cave has become more than shelter. It's a library, a museum, a school, a sacred space where knowledge lives and grows. One evening you sit near the fire, looking at the walls covered in images, and you feel something unexpected. Pride. Not personal pride, collective pride, species pride. Humans are doing something no other animal does. We're creating meaning, building culture, transcending our biological limitations through art and record keeping and symbolic thought. The scarred woman approaches. She hands you a hollow bone,
filled with ochre paste, and a thin stick, tools for drawing. You understand the message. Continue. Add to the story. This is your role now. You take the tools. You approach the wall. You begin to draw. Your modern knowledge tries to intrude. You know what comes next in human history. Writing, mathematics, science, technology, civilization. All of it starts here, with charcoal and ochre on cave walls, with the decision to recall, to remember, to create. You're not just surviving anymore. You're building, contributing to something larger than yourself, something that will outlast you by millennia. And for the first time since waking up in this prehistoric hell, you feel something beyond fear and hunger and exhaustion. You feel hope, counting and numbers. A few days after the cave paintings begin, you notice the hunters doing something strange. They're collecting stones, not for weapons, not for tools, just small, smooth pebbles from the river. They bring them back to the cave and arrange them in piles near the fire. You watch, curious, as the one-eyed hunter places stones in a careful pattern. One pile has 3 stones, another has 5, another has 8. He's counting, actually count. You've seen tally marks on the cave walls, but this is different. This is physical, tangible, manipulatable. He gestures for you to sit. You do. He points to a pile of 5 stones, then at 5 fingers on his hand. The connection is clear. 5 stones, 5 deer killed in the last hunt. He removes 1 stone, 4 remain. He holds up 4 fingers. He's demonstrating subtraction, primitive, visual, but functional. Then he combines 2 piles, 3 stones plus 5 stones. He counts them together, 8 total deer killed over 2 hunts. Addition. You're witnessing the birth of mathematics, not abstract equations, not written numbers, but concrete physical counting that allows humans to track, measure, plan. The scarred woman joins. She has her own pile of stones, smaller stones. She's counting something different. Days. Specifically days until winter. She adds 1 stone each morning, removes 1 when a moon cycle completes. It's a calendar, crude but accurate enough to predict seasonal changes. Other tribe members maintain their own count. One tracks children born versus children who died. Another counts enemy sightings. Another measures stored food against mouths to feed. You realize numbers give control, not real control over nature or fate, but the illusion of control, the ability to predict, to plan, to make informed decisions. Without numbers, you're reacting. With numbers, you're strategizing. The one-eyed hunter teaches you the system. He starts simple. 1 stone equals 1 day. 7 stones equal 1 week. Though that word doesn't exist yet. 28 to 30 stones equal 1 moon cycle. You practice taking stones, adding them, removing them, grouping them, creating visual representations of abstract quantities. It's harder than it should be. Your modern brain wants to use numerals, to write things down, to use calculators, but you don't have those tools. You have stones, and your fingers, and you're slowly adapting prehistoric mind. But gradually it clicks. You start to think in quantities, not precisely, but approximately, enough to be useful. How many tribe members you count? 15 adults, 8 children, 23 total. How much food do you have stored? You estimate. Enough meat for maybe 40 days, enough nuts for 30, enough roots for 20, overlapping but not enough for a full winter. The math is grim, but knowing the math means you can act. You can hunt more, gather more, prepare better. Numbers transform uncertainty into information, and information is power. The tribe begins using numbers for everything. Trading with allied tribes requires counting. How many deer hides for how many spear points? You use stones to negotiate. 3 hides for 2 spear points. Visual, clear, fair. Warfare planning involves counting. How many warriors do you have? 15 capable fighters. How many does the rival tribe have? Last count showed 12. But maybe more. The math dictates strategy. With superior numbers you can be aggressive. With inferior numbers you focus on defense. Even social dynamics involve counting. How many successful hunts has each hunter completed? Who contributes most? Who needs more training? The stones track performance, creating accountability. You start creating your own count. Days survive. You place 1 stone in a personal pile each sunset. After a week you have 7 stones. After a month you have 32. Because months aren't exactly 30 days, you're learning. It's tangible proof, evidence of survival, and somehow that matters. You can see your progress, your endurance, your achievement. The tribe develops more complex counting systems. They create larger stones to represent groups of smaller stones. One large stone equals 10 small stones. It's the birth of base 10 thinking, though they don't realize they're inventing a mathematical system that will dominate human civilization for millennia. They use notched sticks as backup counting tools. Each notch represents a day, a kill, a person. The sticks are portable, allowing counting on hunts or foraging trips. You help create these tools, cutting notches into straight branches, carefully, evenly, creating physical records that can be carried, referenced, and trusted. One day, a hunter returns from scouting the rival tribe. He sits with the one-eyed hunter and reports using stones. The rival tribe has grown. 2 more warriors represented by 2 additional stones. But they also lost people. 3 stones removed. The one-eyed hunter calculates. His tribe has 15 fighters. The rival has 14. The balance has shifted. This information guides decisions, aggressive patrol patterns, confidence in defensive stands, willingness to contest disputed hunting grounds. Numbers provide clarity, and clarity provides confidence. You sit by the fire one evening, playing with your personal stone pile. Days survived. Each stone a victory against impossible odds. You arrange them in patterns, groups of 5, groups of 10, practicing. The scarred woman watches. She adds a stone to your pile. 1 extra, a gift, an acknowledgement. You understand the message. You've earned your place. You count, literally. You smile, actually smile, and add the stone to your collection. You're not just surviving anymore. You're quantifying survival, measuring it, recording it, creating permanent evidence of your struggle and achievement. And in that quantification you find meaning, purpose, pride, because numbers, you realize, are more than tools. They're proof that you matter, that your life has value, that your existence can be measured, recorded, and remembered. You think about your modern life, where numbers dominated everything: bank accounts, credit scores, social media followers, work hours, deadlines. Those numbers felt oppressive, limiting, defining you in ways that felt reductive and cold. But these numbers, these simple stone piles, they feel liberating, empowering. They're not imposed by others, they're created by you. For you, these are your numbers, your count, your record, and they tell a story of survival, resilience, and humanity's endless drive to understand, measure, and control the world. The birth of mathematics isn't about abstraction, it's about survival, about giving humans the tools to fight back against chaos, uncertainty, and the crushing weight of an indifferent universe. And it starts with stones. He finds a flat patch of smooth dirt outside the cave entrance. He clears it with his hand, creating a blank canvas. Then he picks up a stick and begins to draw. Not pictures, lines. At first you don't understand. Random scratches, meaningless marks. Then you recognize something. A curved line. It's the river that flows past your territory, that provides water and fish and a natural boundary. He adds more lines, straight ones, curved ones, creating a shape, a map. You lean closer, fascinated, as the territory reveals itself in dirt and stick marks. There's the river, a curved line running through the center. There's the cave, a small circle on one side. There's the forest, represented by clusters of small marks. There's the grassland, an open space, with minimal markings. He's not creating art, he's creating information, a visual reference of space and position, a tool for navigation and strategy. This is mapping, primitive, impermanent, but functional. He adds more details. Scratches near the river indicate good fishing spots. Marks in the forest show hunting ground. A series of crossed lines represent dangerous areas, places where predators den. Other tribe members gather, watching. Some point, some make suggestions. The one-eyed hunter adjusts the map, incorporating their knowledge. This is collective intelligence. The map isn't one person's memory, it's everyone's, pooled, visualized, shared. He adds a new element, a second circle on the opposite side of the river. It's marked with aggressive slash marks, angry symbols, the rival tribe, their territory, their camp.
He draws lines between the two circles, routes, paths, showing how the rival tribe might approach, where conflicts have occurred, where scouts have been spotted. This is strategic mapping, not just knowing where things are, but understanding relationships, distances, threats, opportunities. You watch as he marks seasonal information. One area is marked with symbols representing summer abundance. Another shows winter difficulty. The map is dynamic, incorporating time as well as space. He looks at you, gestures, your turn, add what you know. You pick up a stick, approach the map, think about what you've learned over months of survival. You add a mark near the forest, a spot where you found edible roots, another mark near the river, a place with good clay for containers, a third mark in the grasslands, a meadow with frequent deer sightings. The one-eyed hunter nod. Your knowledge is valuable. Your contributions matter. Other tribe members add their own marks. The map grows more detailed, more accurate, more useful. Someone adds a mark showing where they found flint, perfect for tool making. Another marks a freshwater spring, backup water source if the river becomes dangerous. The map is becoming a database, a visual collection of everything the tribe knows about their territory. The one-eyed hunter begins using the map for planning. He points to areas on the map, makes gestures, discusses strategies with senior hunters. They're planning a hunt, using the map to predict deer migration routes, identifying ambush points, coordinating multi-group approaches. This is unprecedented. Humans planning complex, coordinated activities using abstract visual representations of space. The hunt is more successful because of the map. The tribe kills more deer than usual, expending less energy, taking fewer risks. The map proves its value. Over the following weeks, the map becomes a central tool. It's redrawn daily, updated with new information, adjusted based on changing conditions. You become one of the map keepers. Each time you return from foraging, or hunting, or scouting, you update the map, adding information, correcting errors, refining details. The map evolves, becomes more sophisticated. Three-dimensional features are represented with clever symbolism. Hills are shown with curved lines stacked together. Valleys are inverse markings. Rivers have thickness, representing depth. The tribe develops a shared visual language. Everyone understands the symbols. Everyone can read the map. Everyone contributes to its accuracy. One day, the one-eyed hunter adds something new. Lines extending beyond your territory. Scratches showing neighboring territories. Not detail, just outlines. He's mapping the broader region, creating a larger picture, showing where your tribe exists in relation to others. This is geopolitical thinking, understanding your place in a larger system, recognizing that you're not alone, that the world is bigger than your immediate hunting grounds. He marks friendly tribes with certain symbols, hostile tribes with different symbols, neutral tribes with yet another marking. The map becomes a diplomatic tool. When allied tribes visit, the map is used for discussion. Territories are negotiated, hunting grounds are divided, cooperation is planned. You realize, mapping is about control, not physical control, mental control, the ability to conceptualize space, to plan movement, to strategize based on understanding, rather than instinct. Animals react to their environment. They navigate using memory and instinct, but they can't conceptualize space abstractly. They can't plan routes before traveling. They can't coordinate group movements toward unseen locations. Humans can, because humans, this cognitive ability, this spatial intelligence, is transformative. It allows for complex hunting strategies. It enables trade networks. It makes warfare more sophisticated. It permits exploration beyond familiar territories. The scarred woman develops a personal map, smaller, more specific. She's mapping foraging locations, marking seasonal availability, creating a visual guide for gathering plant foods. Her map shows where berries grow in spring, where nuts fall in autumn, where roots are accessible year-round. It's a survival manual, visual and transferable. She teaches young women using the map, points to symbols, demonstrates connections between map markings and real locations. The knowledge transfer is faster, more accurate, more reliable. Maps are becoming teaching tools, historical records, strategic resources. You create your own maps. One shows water sources, another marks predator territories, a third tracks rival tribe movements over time. These maps are crude. They'd make a modern cartographer weep. There's no scale, no compass directions, no mathematical precision, but they work. They serve their purpose. They give humans an advantage. You sit by the fire one evening, looking at the various maps scratched in dirt, marked on hide, etched on wood, and you realize you're witnessing the birth of geography, of spatial thinking, of the human ability to abstract physical reality into symbolic representation. This cognitive leap will enable everything that comes later: navigation, trade, exploration, civilization itself. Because you can't build cities without understanding space. You can't create trade routes without mapping. You can't organize societies without conceptualizing territory. It all starts here, with a stick and dirt, and the realization that physical space can be represented, studied, and manipulated through abstract thought. The one-eyed hunter updates the main map one final time before night falls. He adds a new mark, a symbol representing you, not your physical position, your contribution, your role, your place within the tribe's understanding of the world. You're not just a body anymore, not just a set of hands to work, or a mouth to feed. You're a knowledge contributor, a map maker, a strategic thinker. You've earned your place not just through physical survival, but through intellectual contribution. And in that moment, you understand, intelligence is survival, not just physical strength, not just instinct, but the ability to think, to abstract, to create tools not just for hands but for minds. Humans are weak compared to predators, slow compared to prey, vulnerable compared to nature. But humans think, humans plan, humans map, and that makes all the difference. You look at the map, your territory, visualized, your knowledge, externalized, your tribe, connected through shared understanding. This is humanity, not perfection, but progress. Slow, painful, beautiful progress, and you're part of it. You open your eyes, again, you wake up, not in the cave, not on stone, on a mattress, soft, clean, warm. You're back, in your apartment, in your bed, in the 21st century. It was a dream, all of it, a vivid, terrifying, impossible dream. You sit up, trembling, sweating. Your body is soft, weak, comfortable. Your hands are clean. Your teeth are intact. Your stomach is full. You look around, your phone, your laptop, your fridge, your heating, your security, all the things you took for granted. You walk to the bathroom and stare at yourself in the mirror. No scars, no bruises, no matted hair or broken teeth. You're safe, protected, insulated from the brutal reality of survival. And you realize, you didn't earn this. Your ancestors did. They fought, they starved, they bled, they died, so you could wake up in a warm bed and complain about Wi-Fi. You think about the tribe, the one-eyed hunter, the scarred woman, the child who clung to your leg. They weren't characters, they were your ancestors, your lineage, your foundation, and they survived against impossible odds, against predators, disease, starvation, cold, violence, and death itself. They survived, so you could exist. You look at your phone, dozens of notifications, emails, messages, complaints, distractions, and you laugh, because none of it matters. Not really. Your ancestors fought saber-toothed tigers, and you're worried about a meeting. Your ancestors starved through winters, and you're stressed about a deadline. Your ancestors built civilization from rocks and fire, and you're scrolling through social media. You put the phone down, and for the first time in a long time, you appreciate what you have: the warmth, the food, the safety, the luxury of boredom, because 50,000 years ago, boredom meant you were alive, comfortable, safe, and that was the ultimate victory. You survived one day as a caveman, and that day changed you, because now you know, survival isn't a given, it's a gift, a fragile, miraculous, hard-won gift, and you'll never take it for granted again.